Greetings, Booktubians! Welcome to Readers Guild, where we do not read, because these are the books that
we didn't read or should not have read.
Or DNF'd.
Which is
That
didn't read or...
Finished. Okay.
Yeah, but I mean, like,
Yeah.
because you didn't read them.
That's fair. That's fair. Well, we're going to be talking about DNFing, and we have some books here to point to, because these are some of the books that, as you said, we didn't finish or wish we hadn't, and just sort of like why I think you should always DNF when you are. If you think about it, then you should just DNF it.
And why I tend to not DNF.
Yeah, so we're going to discuss that because that's a very common problem, I'm realizing, with a lot of readers. So would you like to share your thoughts on why you don't?
Yeah, so for me, I like being critical of books, and I find it very fun to, I guess, critique them. So whenever I read, I want to finish the book to give my full thoughts and say where it, like, succeeded or failed, but I don't feel like I have the right to do that unless I finish the book. So one of the few books I've DNF'd is The Truth, but I only got, like, maybe 50 pages in, and it's not even like a DNF, it's more like, okay, I didn't even read it. Like, it's in the back. But certain books that I have read, like some of the... Well, I read all the Witcher books, but the Witcher books, I wasn't even enjoying the entire series, so I know it's bad that I just read them and don't enjoy them, but I felt like I had to finish to, like, justify why I didn't like it. So I had the evidence, which, funnily enough, I don't really have the evidence because I barely remember reading them.
Yeah, and I mean, the thing with me is I use this for fun, so like if I'm not having fun, it's going in the trash.
To the used bookstore, we don't throw away books.
It's in here. It's going in the trash.
Yeah.
And also, like, as far as like the critiquing thing goes, I mean, in the what I have read is going to be critiqued, and what I haven't is not being critiqued because of what I am critiquing.
Yeah.
If I read 40% of a book and I didn't like it, I'm going to be saying, this is why I didn't like it, because I didn't read that. It's like, to me, it's not an all or nothing.
Well,
kind of
for
scenario.
me as well, like, I've read Wheel of Time, and I don't enjoy the process of reading Wheel of Time, but I enjoy having read Wheel of Time. So once I finished a book, I was happy that I finished it. I was very glad I read it. But while I'm reading it, I'm not normally enjoying myself. So, especially for the earlier books and the slog. Because I think the only books that I enjoyed were like 4 to 6 and 12 to 14. 11 was like okay for me, but the rest, like, the ending has to justify me reading the entire book. So that's why I pushed through.
Yeah.
Because I'm giving the ending a chance to justify
It's
the
also
rest
like
of
the last impression you have of the book.
Yeah, so if it's good, then I normally am like, oh, I'm glad I read that.
It's enough to like bumps like a 3 to a 4, or like a 2 even to like
Normally
a
it's a
3.
2 to a 3.
Yeah.
Rarely...
I guess...
maybe, yeah.
I
Rarely
guess,
ever a 4 to a 5, because I feel like the whole book has to be good for a 5.
I guess what I'm saying is that I never want to have a 1 star for... Like, no one wants to finish a 1 star, you know what I mean?
That's the reason why I have a hard time giving 1-star ratings, even though, because I feel like if it is 1 star, then I wouldn't have finished it. But at the same time, then what is a 1 star?
To
like,
me, a 1 star is when it's so bad, but like I was invested in reading, like Hounded, for example. Like, to me, I would.
But I gave that 2.
See, I don't even remember what I gave things, because like I use Goodreads very like wishy-washy, like it's very like, I'm sure I'm saying I don't like giving 1 stars because that implies that I already DNF'd it, but I would give a book that I DNF'd 1 star is the thing. Because like what I have read is a 1 star, because then that's why I stopped, because I didn't like what I had read. So, and then for books that I do give 1 star that I finished, it'd be like Hounded, where I was reading it for like a book club thing, and also it was more fun to talk about how bad Hounded is than it is to like read Hounded. So in that vein, it was like so bad it's so good, or what's the term?
Yeah.
So yeah, that basically. But yeah, you're right. It's like, should you give things 1 star? But then, like, should you just give it 0 star if you DNF it? But yeah. Do you think you will end up DNFing books more often now? Like now meaning like now that you've read more. Like,
no, because I think that I have purged most of the books that I don't want to read off my shelf. Because before, if it was on my shelf, I'm like, it's already there, I'm going to read it. Because either friends gave it to me or, most of the time they were just friends gave it to me and I'm like, I'll take the books. Yeah. But they're on my shelf, so I'm going to read them. No, or this is something I kind of wanted to read and then I start reading it and I'm like, no. Then I put it back on the shelf.
Yeah, but you could say that the books that you filtered out all served the glorious purpose of getting that Babel edition.
Yeah, true. Yeah, I got enough credit to basically pay for the entire fancy edition of Babel. Signed.
Gobbled it up.
Yep.
Babel just ate everything. It book eaters.
Yeah, but I'm at the point where it's not that I will pick up books and not like them. It's that they're on my shelf, so I'm going to read them. But what happens is, I read them. I give them like 3 stars, and then I don't want them on my shelf anymore, so I give them to the used bookstore. Yeah. But at that point, I shouldn't have read it anyway. I should have just given it to the used bookstore so I could read something I wanted to read more, which I'm doing that more often.
Yeah. So, because you like said you not only did you physically filter up your books that you don't want, but also like on your general like mental TBR, you're just gonna focus on stuff that you.
Yeah, like I'm reading books that I'm super excited for because I have the weird bad habit of saying I'm super excited to read this. I'm gonna read this later when I really, really, really want to read this. So what I do is I try to like delay that gratification. So I'll read something that I'm not really in the mood to read because I'm just trying to get it off my shelf. Or like get it off my like physical TBR. And then what happens is I only read books that I don't really want to read.
And then that kills the joy of reading, and then next thing you know, you get to the thing that you were excited for, and then you're not.
Because I'm still trying to get out of the habit of making everything perfect to read a book that I'm excited to read.
I used to do that too. Yeah. When the funny thing about that is when I get it to that perfect, like I have a coffee, I've got time, I've got the book, maybe I got the audiobook as well to follow along, whatever, right? Perfect sitting condition as well, lighting condition. It's just never fun because now I'm like, I kind of want to go do something else now.
Yeah, that's what happens too. Yeah. Because I want to have the audiobook and the physical book, which normally the physical book is already on my shelf. And then I borrow the audiobook from the library, so that's my best reading experience is like following along. And then I want to be in a situation where I have more than an hour to sit down and read, so if I get invested, I can actually like get into it. And I want to be excited to read it. So if I'm like, I'm excited to read this book, but not right now, then I won't do it, even if I have access to it. Yeah. But if I just read it, I would probably like it.
Yeah.
I would probably enjoy reading. Because a good
book's a good book.
Yeah, exactly.
And I talked about this before on the podcast with you and Corbin, but like, I think it's a good thing when you're sitting down and reading a book and then you get interrupted. That's not a good thing, but I'm saying like it doesn't ruin the book. If anything, it like gives you that delayed gratification, but naturally.
Yeah, because then you want to get back to it. And I've rarely had the feeling, especially recently, where I want to get back to a book. It's just like, oh, I'm going to read.
It's like a part of your day.
Yeah, it's like, oh, I have free time, I guess I'll read.
I guess
and then I read a book that I want to read. But it's not like, I'm not trying to finish everything to read a book.
And like cleaning up, like tying off loose ends, like, oh, I gotta finish all of these. But like to me, I used to be like that as well, where I've started 4 or 5 books already and I want to finish, or I want to read this other thing that I'm excited for. And the next thing you know, I'm like almost doing cleanup. Like I've already delegated these books that now I need to finish, even if I was liking them, as chores. So I'm almost like devaluing the experience right there to elevate an experience, but I'm like...
Yeah, because I'm doing that so I have the time to just read the books I want to read, but then I just don't read them.
Then I'm like, I'm an adult, I'm just going to pick up whatever the hell I want. Basically, in the end, DNF if you want, because at the end of the day, you're only screwing yourself over.
Yeah, reading's supposed to be fun.
Yeah. Yes, Cindy.
Yeah, this is, I mean, coming from me, but I enjoy productivity, but, so productivity is fun for me. Just completing books is fun, but for most people, if you're not enjoying the book, I would say DNF, but I like the critical side of it, so I enjoy finishing it and hating on it and saying it was bland and boring. Yeah.
I just, I don't like not having fun. So,
that's fair.
Yeah. And I'm still gonna shit on a book even if I didn't finish it, because That's why I didn't finish it.
Yeah, that's fair.
So yeah. We hope that you have a great many books that you do finish because you like them.
Yep. Have a nice day.
Bye.